Good morning, people. Good morning. I told you I'll be back to give you that part two on the salsa. I gave you the inception, the birth of salsa on the last video, how it was born, and now we're in 1970, and we're going to his toddler years. We could say during his toddler years, salsa is very important. We mentioned the first artist to really blow up, let's say, like the the hip hop's stars say blow up was Willie Colon. He pretty much was the youngest and the first one to be signed to the Fania Records recording company. Now, this was the only company around that believed in this type of music, that thought it was actually profitable. And it was this idea was really Johnny Pacheco's, sort of like what Russell Simmons did with Rick Rubin. Johnny Pacheco, he needed the money to back this idea called salsa. So the very first artist was Willie Colon because, of course, he was the best trombone player at 15 years old, and he had his own band by like 16, 17, and they bring a young kid from Puerto Rico, from Ponce, the southern part of Puerto Rico. You got the really like proud Ponceros. They're proud, very proud. All Puerto Rican or Boricuas are proud, but Ponceros are really proud. And this young man was Hector Lavoe. So what you have here is a New Yorican and a Puerto Rican getting together and morphing two different sounds together. You have a New York, and mind you, Willie hated trumpets. He played the trumpet for a while. He didn't like it, but his band never had trumpets. It's all trombones. If you listen to all Willie Colon's music, his later stuff, man, has some trumpets in it, but anything that meant something, that made him big, that was big in his success, no trumpets in the band. He was against that. He's a trombone player, so he figured he didn't need no trumpets. But yeah, we gotta mention today. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mention the characters, and then I'll come back in another video, and then I'll give you the breakdown on each character. So we're gonna start from those who were there from the beginning. Obviously, if we're gonna talk about the Bible, we're not gonna talk about Mark, Luke, Paul, and John first. No, we're gonna talk about who? Moses, right? So starting from the beginning, we got Santito Colon, we got Cheo Feliciano, Ray Barreto, we got Joe Bataan, Larry Harlow, Johnny Pacheco, Luis Ramirez, Mongo Santamaria, Bobby Valentin, Hector Lavoe. Now you had other groups that weren't affiliated with the Fania, but were still making a lot of noise, like the LeBron Brothers, El Gran Combo, La Sonera Ponceña, Rafi Lavi y La Selecta, Oscar de León, Tommy Livencia, El Chamaco Ramírez, and singers. These are the singers that I'm mentioning now. Malvin Santiago. Oh my God, he's one of the best improvisers ever. Imael Quintana, Imael Rivera, and Imael Miranda. Those three Imaels were, I'll give them to you in order. Imael Quintana used to sing for Eddie Palmieri. So he was famous for a lot of songs like Vámonos Pa'l Monte, Muñeca, stuff. Those kind of, those songs were popular. Then you had like Imael Miranda. He was the youngest out of the whole crowd. He was, well, I wouldn't say, I said they used to call him El Niño Bonito because he was the youngest looking. He had a baby face, like me. Then you had Imael Rivera. Imael Rivera is what Tupac is to hip hop for salsa, but he was from Puerto Rico. So we have pt2 Rodriguez, who sang for Johnny Pacheco and was also his compadre. We had the beautiful Celia Cruz. Now, who's the pen behind all the success of all this? Who doesn't get the credit? As always, he was a short man of color, very dark complexion. His name was Alonso Tite Curet, and he wrote over 250 hits for the Fania and died a broke man. The Fania was owned and ran by Jerry Masucci, which was an Italian fellow that put up the money with Johnny Pacheco in the beginning to start this label. The problem I have with this is other Puerto Ricans started their own labels like Vaya Records, Bronco Records, Inca Records, you know, Top Hits. These are all record labels that other Puerto Ricans were putting together, and he would buy them out immediately. So the Fania actually became a conglomerate, but it's really only one man, Jerry Masucci. And then he bought himself a press that he can press his own records. So nobody knew how much he made off of salsa. Now, I can't kick him in the back completely because he changed the life of a lot of these singers. He changed the life of these singers, some for the best, some for the worst. Because maybe if some of these singers wouldn't have become singers, they wouldn't have became addicts and killed themselves basically, or which is not funny. I'm just saying. Or there's examples like Alberto Santiago and a lot of guys who kept clean. Willie Colon, Ruben Blades, they kept clean and they benefited off the genre, but still got pennies. You know when they started. Ruben Blades, he wanted to raise the consciousness of salsa because it was like the same, the same format. Tell the story in the beginning, and then it's about a woman breaking your heart, blah, blah, blah. And then the chorus bars, solo, song over. Well, he wanted to raise the consciousness about social political issues that were going on in different parts of Latin America. And him being a lawyer, he left that profession alone to become a singer. That's how much. And he's from Panama, by the way. So I'll give him respect for that. He came to work for as a to the Fania as in the male department, and worked. Became one of the world's famous salsa singers ever. But there was one thing that I didn't like about Jerry Masucci. He exploited all them singers, right? Most of them died broke. None of their families were taken care of, and Jerry Masucci's multi-millionaire. His estate is, I don't know how much he's worth, but it's a lot of millions. And like I said, I got a bitter sour. I'm sorry, I got a bittersweet taste, with him because, like I said, he helped a lot of guys get to where they wanted to go as far as fame. But fame doesn't feed your kids, if you get what I mean. So those names I mentioned, guys, those are basically Salsa turning into a rebellious teenager. So I'll be back as we go into Salsa